welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Courtney. In today's video, I thought I would just do a little bit of a life update for you guys. So, if you guys like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up at the end and subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right into this video. And yes, I am drinking hot chocolate. I would be drinking coffee right now, but it is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I figure that's probably not a good option for me right now. I'd probably be awake all night if I drank another cup of coffee this late in the afternoon, but that is my cat mug. It's super cute. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump back into the video. So I'm going to backtrack all the way back to October. So in October, I had this crazy idea that I wanted to go back to college. So I had been to college before, I just never finished my degree. And I wanted to go back to school to get my degree in early childhood education. So I started applying, and I looked into the University of Cincinnati because they have a program that is online for early childhood education. And that just worked out perfectly with me already working, and everything was done online. So I started looking into that, and I started to apply in October. And then they also, in Ohio, they have a Teach Scholarship, which is fully funded. So through the Teach Scholarship, they pay for all of your tuition, and then they pay for 80% of your books. And so it just works out great. And so in November, I started completing the process for that, and got everything started for that, and then went through with all of that. So I'm actually going back to school right now, which is really cool. Hopefully finishing up my degree in the next 2 years. So I was on my way to work. I was about 5 minutes away from work, and I'd taken this route many times. This is the way that I take to work every single day. And there's a small bridge that I cross every morning, and it was really icy out that morning. And I came upon an icy patch, and I had started to slow down like a ways back. And like I said, the bridge was really icy, and there was a truck that was in front of me at this at the stoplight, and I started to slow down, and I knew instantly that I wasn't going to be able to slow down in time, and I knew that I was going to hit the truck. And so I'm like trying to slow down, trying to hit my brakes, and like I said, I'm not going to be able to slow down in time, and so I run right into this truck. And then before coming to a complete stop, there's a guardrail off to the side. And so I slam right into the guardrail, and I am scared, like I am freaking out. And so there's like this loud boom, and I lose my phone for a second, and I'm like panicking. And so I'm able to call 911, and I get a hold of a dispatcher, and they send, that like, first they like ask if I'm hurt, and I'm like, I don't think I'm hurt, I'm not really sure like what happened. And they send somebody out like to help me. There was definitely a lot of damage to my car. I actually ended up doing like over $6,000 worth of damage to my car. So like the front end of my car, and then all the way up to to my actual like driver's side door. The police actually had a hard time like getting it open. But luckily I was not hurt. I just had like some whiplash and like my back hurt and stuff. But other than that, like I wasn't really hurt. So once the police showed up, I ended up calling my mom, and she came and got me. And what's crazy though is that I ended up going to work that day, and so I went and I taught preschool, and like my entire body was just in shock that day. And so everyone's like, "Why are you here? Why did you show up to work?" And I was like, I don't know, like I guess I have to work. And it didn't really hit me until later that day, and I was in like a lot of back pain and stuff. And so a couple days later, like I went to see the chiropractor and stuff. And so that was just very scary, very traumatic for me. And so I was without a car for about a month. So that kind of sucked. That was a great time. And that was around Christmas time too, so like right before Christmas. So not a fun time. But luckily like my mom was able to take me where I needed to, and I did eventually get my car back. So that all happened in December. And then I did eventually get my car back. I think it was like January 8th is when I got my car back, I think. So I was without my car for about a month, like I said. And then also in January, actually over New Year's, I was sick. I got strep throat. So I was sick for about a week, and I didn't really know what I had. I thought I had like an ear infection or a sinus infection. And so I just kind of let it go because I don't like to go to the doctor. And I'm also a preschool teacher, like I've said. And so, I mean, I get sick all the time and kids have germs and stuff. And so I'm the type of person that does not like to go to the doctor at all. So I kind of put it off, and then finally I went to the doctor, and the nurse was like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and swab you. And I was like, you're going to swab me, like, for strep throat? And she was like, yeah, like, both sides of your throat are really white. There's lots of white patches, and we're pretty sure you have strep throat. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fantastic. But I ended up having strep throat. So that was in January, and then a month later, so that was January 1st that I went to the doctor and finally got some medicine. And then exactly a month later, on February 1st, I ended up at the doctor again. I had strep throat again for the second time in a month. But that time I like knew what my symptoms were, and so I was able to catch it in time. And I had like the same symptoms, and it was really hard for me to swallow, and I was just in a lot of pain again. So I knew like right away. I was like, I'm pretty sure I have strep throat. So I went to the doctor again, and luckily like they were able to give me some like stronger medicine. Unfortunately though, I've had strep throat 3 times since August, but they do say that as an adult you have to have strep throat like 5 times before they can take your tonsils out. So I guess there's a possibility that I may have my tonsils out later this year, but that just depends. So that's what's happened in January and in February. And I also mentioned that I did start school. So I started school in January, and I am going back for early childhood. So lately I've just been working on homework. Luckily I'm just taking 1 class this semester, so it hasn't been too awful. And the class is an early childhood class, so it's not one of those like boring classes. That's just like a gen ed class. This one actually pertains to my major. So I've just been working on a lot of homework lately, and I do get what's called time release. So 1 day a week for work I get to leave 3 hours early, which actually it's technically 4 hours early because of my lunch break and stuff. But anyway, so I get to leave early 1 day a week, and I usually come home and that's when I work on my homework and stuff, and so I get a lot accomplished. And so up until about this week, things haven't been too hard. I mean, there's a lot of homework and a lot of like reading, and there's like discussion boards and stuff that I have to post to, but so far things haven't been too bad. There is like a 40 point assignment coming up in a couple of weeks. It's like writing a paper in APA format, and to be completely honest, I hate APA format, but you know, that's besides the point. Whatever, you gotta do what your college professors want you to do. But so yeah, I've just been working on assignments and stuff, and so it's not too bad right now. But yeah, so I went back to school, and just working on college classes and stuff like that right now. And like I said earlier in this video, I should be done with classes in about 2 years, so that's exciting. Okay, and the last update I have for you is, so here's something crazy that happened. So last weekend, actually by the time this video uploads, I'm not sure how long ago this will have happened, but anyway, so last weekend though, we had a crazy windstorm that happened where I live, and I was at my grandma's house after church, and she's got a big tree that is in her like side yard, and my car was parked in her driveway, and we were like sitting inside, we were watching a movie. It was around like 5:30, 6 o'clock. And all of a sudden we heard this loud boom. We ran to the window to check out what happened, and this huge tree, and I mean her huge tree, like tree branches had fallen down like all over, and her tree was uprooted. And so we saw that, and we knew like that there was a loud boom, and so we ran to her kitchen window like to see what had happened. And the next thing we know, mind you, I had just gotten my car back in January after my car accident. The next thing I know, I look out the window, and there are tree limbs all over my car. And I don't mean little teeny tiny tree limbs, no, like I mean huge branches. Like tree limbs are down all over. There's like a huge branch on my car. I'm flipping out because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I didn't expect to see a huge tree limb clear on my car, because I thought that like after church, I thought that I had pulled my car up far enough. So I figured even if like something did, you know, tree branch did fall down or whatever, I figured my car would be safe, but clearly I was wrong. So my grandma and I, we both run outside, and I'm like panicking. And I'm like, okay, well, it's okay. Like, we can move this branch off my car. It's no big deal. Next thing I know, we look down, and this tree had literally, like, busted part of my back bumper, and it had busted the taillight out. And so I'm, like, panicking. And my grandma's, like, she's panicking, too. And so she's trying to move, like, branches and stuff. And we realized later that there's, like, down power lines from where her, like, power line connects from her house out to her granary building, because she lives on a farm. And so we're just like, oh my goodness, and it knocks out power, and her phone line is down, and my cell phone is at like 25% battery life. And so I'm like, okay, great. Like, so we end up having to take my car in the next, I think it was like a day or two later though, because we can't move my car because there's down power lines and there's tree branches and stuff down like in front of my car. So we end up taking my car in, and I didn't realize, like, we didn't realize at the time, because my grandma and I, like, my grandma was able to move the tree branch, like, off of my car, but we didn't realize that the tree had actually, like, dented the top of my car. And then later that night, like, I had went out to get, like, some things out of my car, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to drive my car for a while. And I also realized that my windshield was shattered. So I was like, oh, okay, great. Like, this is nice. But so I ended up doing, like, well, I didn't do, but obviously the tree and the wind caused about like $8,000 worth of damage to my car. But I mean, luckily, like, insurance and stuff is going to cover it, so it's not, it just kind of stinks that I'm without a car again for the second time within like 3 months. But, you know, what can you do? You can't really do anything about it. Like, Mother Nature happened. And I posted on, like, one of my social media sites, like, shortly, like, after this happened and stuff, like, how do you look at things, like, your perspective, and, like, do you look at things as, like, the glass is half full or the glass is half empty? And so I was just kind of like, well, you know, I mean, it kind of stinks that my car, you know, the tree landed on my car, but at the same time, like, I guess it's better that the tree landed on my car and not my grandma's house, because things could have been a lot worse. But, yeah, so that's just kind of what I wanted to update you guys on, and that was just kind of my life update. So, of course, if you guys liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. And again, I'll be posting more videos, and if you guys have any questions or comments, drop those down below, and as usual, I'll try and respond to all the comments, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!